Okay, now I want to get on to some training, and I've had a lot of questions about compensation and about, especially those that have promoted to pink and blue, kind of understanding the ranks that come after that. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to go into each rank by detail and why it's a good thing to promote and what you will get out of it. So first of all, these little fun graphs are in our Lash Divas website, thelashdivas.com. The password for that site, if you don't have it, is just lowercase Lash Divas, all one word, no spaces. Well, 2 words, no spaces. So you can find these there, and there's actually more information about compensation. It's a little more basic than what we're going to go over today. So, okay, so this is the percentage of royalties that you get paid. And you can see on the top line, the retail royalties, that is your personal retail sales. So that's what you are personally selling. So it's really cool. We start out at 20% as a white presenter, but as soon as you hit yellow, you jump up to 25%. And then what's really cool is once you hit green, that goes up to 30%. And let me tell you, that extra 5%, that's pretty nice. Especially if you are a higher seller, you multiply that by all of your sales. It's a really nice extra little bonus there. And then the next line is circle royalties, and we're going to talk about what your circle is, but you get paid a percentage on your circle. One thing I want you to notice here is it doesn't say company royalties, it says circle royalties. So you don't get paid on your company, you get paid on your circle, and I have a little fun diagram. I'll explain what that means. And then here's what's really cool. So once you jump to green, the reason I say that is the leadership rank and Younique is because now you're going to get paid off what's called your first generation. And we're gonna talk about that. But you can see you get percentage, and as you advance to orange, purple, and black, it gets deeper and bigger. So pretty exciting. All right. We will go into each rank by detail, so I'm just going over an overview really quick if it's kind of fast. These are the requirements to hit each rank. So we're going to go through each one by detail, but just as an overview, you always have a personal retail sales, so you are required to sell a certain amount each month. And I'm going to tell you that's a good thing. You want your leaders to be working too, right? You don't want your leaders to just sign up a bunch of people and then check out and still get paid. So it's a good thing to have personal retail sales. There's a certain amount of company sales that you need to be at. Qualified first level presenters. Let me explain what that is. A qualified presenter is somebody that sells $125 worth of product or purchases, either way, in 1 calendar month. So if I sponsor Susie today and Susie sells $125 tomorrow, then she's qualified for me for the month. So the reason we have that requirement here is so that you're motivated, I guess, to help your presenters get started. So we don't want you to just sign up 10 people and then have those 10 people not do anything, right? We want you to be invested in your presenters and help them get qualified, help them promote, help them get going. And then we're going to talk about the rest as we go along. Okay, couple things I want to explain that sometimes get a little bit confusion is rank and that little cute fun color next to your name. So if you promoted last month, you may notice that you are back at yellow for your paid rank. Your title rank, the little color that's going to be next to your name, will never go down. So for example, I am right now at orange. So no matter what happens this month, no matter if we're not going to have a terrible month, we're going to have an incredible month. But let's just say we just had a really bummer month for whatever reason, and I didn't hit orange again. My title rank will still say orange. It will always say orange. So I will always have the perks of being an orange presenter. I'll be included with the leadership activities. I will never lose my title rank. So that's a great, great thing. Not all companies do that, so yay. Paid rank, that depends on your activity, and which should hopefully make sense because the company will only pay you on what you do, right? So you shouldn't get paid as orange if your team performs at blue or green. So you will get paid on whatever you and your team accomplish in that calendar month, and that will be your paid rank. And you will actually see that change as the month goes on. So, for example, if you were hit, blue last month, you're probably going to hit pink within another week, and then you'll hit blue, and then you'll be a little bit on your way to green. So it will change as your month goes on and as the sales come in. So don't worry about that. Hopefully that's not a big concern, but sometimes there's a little confusion about that. All the ranks except white and yellow are based on a calendar month. So we're going to go over each rank, but just so you know, once you get past yellow, it's the first of the month to the last day of the month, and then it starts over for all of the ranks. Hopefully that makes sense because your cells start over, so your ranks start over too. Okay, so I promised I would explain what circle versus company means. Your company is every single person in your whole downline. So if it's just you, then your company is one. It's just you. If you have sponsored 5 people, then your company is you and those 5 people. So it includes you and everybody in your downline. Okay? Your circle, if you have a small group, your circle and your company are going to be the same. It's going to be the same number. Okay? The only time it changes is when you have somebody that promotes to green or above in your downline. And that's our elite status, is green or above. So once you have an elite, it's called a first generation elite. First generation means, I actually have a little picture, I'll show you this, but your first person in your downline that hits green, basically, in that leg. That's your first generation elite. So once someone promotes to an elite status, they become their own circle. They get their own, that's their own group. They're the leader of their own group. So you no longer get paid on their circle the same way you get paid on your circle. So you will eventually get paid on their circle, and I'll show you how that happens. But as far as your main circle, that doesn't include them anymore. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I just confused you. So company includes everybody. Your circle is everybody except your elite leaders and their downline. Okay? All right. So we are going to go through each rank. Hopefully I hope this isn't boring. I hope this is exciting because this is talking about how you get paid. Okay, to be a white, first of all, when you sign up as a presenter, you are a white presenter, just automatically. Cha-ching. As soon as you, yeah, basically that's it. So you get 20% commission as a new presenter. That stays true until you promote to yellow. To promote to yellow, you need 1,000. Yeah, hi. You know what? I'm gonna switch that. Hey, can you hear us? I forgot. I haven't actually slide in here. Yeah, go ahead and hit *6 and it will mute any background noise and you can just listen in. Perfect. Okay, these are the slides I meant to show you. All right, yellow. So let's go over the requirements and what you get paid. So the requirements are you need to sell $1,000 and it's lifetime sales. So it doesn't have to happen in a month. It can happen in 2 months or 3 months. I'm going to tell you, you want to get to yellow as fast as you can. So if you are listening to this and you're not yellow yet, make it a goal to get to yellow within the next couple weeks or at least by the end of the month. You do not want to stay at white. You want that 25% commission. So you get an extra 5% bonus for hitting yellow. And here's what's cool. You never go back down to 20%, ever. And I'm telling you, that extra 5%, it's really, really nice. So get to yellow as quick as you can. The other reason to get to yellow is because you can't promote past that until you hit yellow. So it's imperative that you get to yellow as quick as you can. That $1,000, if that seems really big to you, break it down. Break it down each week. So if you want to hit it in a month, that's just $250 in sales each week. $250 in sales, that's about 1 to 2 parties. So do 2 parties each week and you'll hit yellow by the end of the month. So yay for yellow. Okay, pink. So the requirements to hit pink, you need to have $250 in your own personal sales, and you need to have $2,000 for your company. So remember, we have a little diagram of your company. So that's you plus everybody in your group, okay? And you need to have 1 qualified first level presenter. So first level just means someone that you've personally sponsored, right? So you're the top level, and then your first level, it would be everyone that you personally sponsored. So you just need at least 1 person that's qualified. And remember, we said qualified is their $125 in a calendar month. So you've got 1 person that's at least selling $125, and your whole group is at $2,000. Now what you're going to get paid is you're going to make your 25% commission, which you were making at yellow, but now you're going to make an extra 3% off of your circle. Okay? Now, like I said before, most likely your circle and your company are going to be the same. So you're going to make 3% off of that $2,000 that your whole group is making. The other thing I want to make sure you guys know is that the company sales, it says wholesale. So wholesale is basically if you take that 25% off, it's 75% left. So it's 75% of retail. That's what the wholesale is based on. So as you're looking at your sales and you're like, wow, I sold $2,000 this month, but my wholesale only shows, 1,000, I can't do this math in my head, 1,000, $1,500. That's because it's 75% of retail. I just had a thought that I was going to say. Oh, so remember how I said you should get to yellow as fast as you can? Here's why. You can hit yellow and pink at the same time. And I would encourage, if you're a brand new presenter, make that your goal to hit yellow and pink the same month because it's easier. If you have really high sales, if you have $1,000 in sales, it's going to be a lot easier to have company sales hit 2,000. You just need to have, you sponsor other gals and tell them, hey, we're going to hit yellow this month. So you need to have, you want to make it a goal to have $1,000 in sales this month. If you teach your team to do that, it'll be really easy to promote each month because you'll always have gals coming in selling $1,000 their first month. The other thing that you need to do to hit pink is to sponsor though. So if you're a brand new presenter, you want to hit yellow as fast as you can, and you want to bring in at least 2 people in your first month, at least. So the first month is so great because you're so excited, right? You just joined our awesome company. You've got these great products. You are just filled with excitement. Take that excitement and go share it with as many people as you can. And what's really fun is if you end your first month at pink, you've already got a team and you're growing. So that's going to be our new goal with our team, is to not just focus on yellow, but it's yellow and pink in your first month. Okay, next up is blue. Blue is where you start making a little bit more moolah off your team. It gets fun. It gets really fun once you get to blue and above, I promise. Pink, you are making a little bit off your team. It kind of depends on the size of your group, but it could be as low as $60. So it's going to be a little bit, but you're still making more off what you're personally selling. Once you start to get to blue, it's going to start to kind of even out. You're probably going to make about, depending on what you're selling, anywhere from $160 to $300 off of your team, depending on the size of your team. So it's pretty exciting. To hit blue, you need to have $250 in your own sales, so same requirements as pink. Your company needs to hit $4,000 in sales. So you're probably going to need more people on your team to hit that, unless you have someone that's having a really high sales month, which is awesome too. So you're going to keep continuing sponsoring, encourage your team to sponsor. You need to have 2 qualified first level presenters. So you could hit blue with a minimum of 2 people, but most likely when you hit blue, you're going to have between 5 and 10 people on your group. The payment is 25% on your personal retails, and then your circle royalties go up. You now make 4% off your circle. So you're going to make a little higher percentage, which is really nice. Okay, green. So this is where it gets exciting. And I'm telling you, if you want to make a business and bring in some good money with Younique, green is where you want to focus on short term. We'll get to the higher ranks in just a minute, and it gets really exciting. But green is where you want to focus on, and it doesn't have to take a long time to hit green. It can take 2 months, 4 months, 6 months. It kind of depends on you. But we have people promoting within 2 months. So my suggestion, if you want to be on the fast track, is to hit yellow and pink your first month, and then hit blue and green your second month. And the way to do that is to, it's kind of just training isn't really on how to hit each rank, but you got to sponsor, and you got to teach your team to sponsor and sell and help them achieve that yellow and pink their first month too. So, but for green, the sales requirements go up a little bit. It's $500 in personal sales. Your company sales need to hit 10,000, and that's the big number, because usually the 500 isn't the problem. It's getting to 10,000. You need 3 qualified first level presenters. So what that means is, one of the things you want to know about our compensation plan is if you can't just sponsor one person and help that one person grow. Okay? And here's the reason why. First of all, you need 3 qualified first level presenters, so you have to have more than 1 leg that's really strong. The other reason is, you'll see there's a new requirement on green. It says circle wholesale sales. So remember our little diagram of our company versus our circle. So what that means is your whole company needs to have $10,000, but your circle needs to have $2,000. Now, if you don't have anyone underneath you that's green or above, that's not a problem because your company and your circle are going to be identical. So you'll actually have 10,000 in your circle as well. But I'm actually going to skip ahead this little diagram here. If you have somebody that is an elite, you have a really, big, strong leg in your company, you need to have $2,000 in sales somewhere else, okay? So let's kind of just go over this. So here's you at the top. You want to hit green this month, so you need to sell $500 in your personal sales. Say you have a real go-getter on your team, and she's hit green super fast. Within like a month and a half, 2 months, she's hit green. So her circle now breaks away. So she's on the right side, and everyone underneath her is in their own circle. They're going to kind of break away, and she's going to have at least $10,000 in her circle because she hit green. So she has to have $10,000. You need to have at least $2,000 in your other gals that are on your team, so in your circle, and that can include you, but you need to have at least $2,000. So we haven't had this happen in our team where someone didn't hit green because they didn't have that, but just I want you to be aware that you need to also be growing wide. So if you have a leg, so a leg would be like for direct sales lingo, a leg just means someone that you sponsor and then their whole group. That's one leg for you. So if you have one leg that is just going at it and rocking it out, awesome. Give them a pat on the back. Make sure you recognize them. But then take your time and go focus on adding to your team and building so that you are continuing to build wide, because you always will need circle volume. So I'm going to go back because I didn't talk about what you get paid. So your commission, your royalties on your own personal sales jumps up to 30%. I mentioned that before. It's really nice. Your circle royalties, you get paid 5% on your circle. But then here's the really cool thing, is you start getting paid what's called a first generation royalty. So on that new gal that just promoted to green underneath you, you're going to get paid 3% off of her group. So you're going to get paid 5% off of your circle, 3% off of her circle. So even though the circle breaks away, you're going to make money off of that once you hit green. Okay. I will open this up for questions at the end if I'm making this sound confusing. The other thing I want to explain is the two terms, generation versus level. So your first level are the people that you've personally sponsored. So you can see me at the top. So I've got these 4 gals. They're my first level at the very top. Okay. First generation means the first person in that leg to hit green or above. So you can see on the right, I've got a first generation. She's personally under me. She's actually both a first level and a first generation. But the next gal in the middle, green, she's actually under the person I sponsored. So the person I sponsored hasn't hit green yet, but her presenter has. So she is still considered my first generation, even though I didn't personally sponsor her. And then you can see down her leg, there's kind of a gal that was skipped. She sponsored somebody that also sponsored somebody that became elite. So that is my second generation. So as you promote, you're going to start to see that you're going to get paid on your first, and then your second, and then your third generation. So to hit orange, you need to have $500 in sales. Your company volume goes up to $20,000 in company sales. You need to have 3 qualified first level presenters. That's actually the same as green. Your circle sales need to be a little bit higher, $4,000. But here's the main thing for orange is you need to have a leader. So you need to have a first generation elite. So once you hit green, your next goal is to promote other greens. You cannot promote past green until you promote leaders, other greens or above. So, and every direct sales company is actually like this. We want to promote leaders. So once you become a leader, your goal is to promote and cultivate and help other leaders develop in your downline. And then here's what you get paid. It's really nice. 30% royalties, 5% on your own circle, 3% on your first generation. So we just talked about what that means. And then 4% on your second generation. So if you don't have a second generation yet, your check is going to be good. It's going to be really good. But it's not going to grow bigger until you get that second generation. So you're always wanting to help leaders, develop leaders, develop leaders. Purple. So I don't have don't have an estimated. I should have put this on here about how much each rank makes. But it varies. It really depends on the size of your team and how many leaders you have in your organization. But I would say when you hit orange, you're making between you're making $1,000 off your team. First of all, that's just a minimum. You're at least making $1,000 off your team plus whatever you're selling. So it's at least $1,250 off of your team and what you're selling, and then it could just go up from there. So I know I have a friend that she's orange, but she just hasn't had that second leader come up, so she hasn't hit purple yet, and we'll talk about that. So, but she's still making almost $4,000 a month, just at orange. So there's a really big range there once you get to orange. When you get up to purple and black, I'll tell you some exciting numbers. But okay, requirements for purple: you need to have your $500 in sales. That's going to be pretty standard once you get past green. 40,000 in your company. 4 first level presenters, so you need to keep growing wide. 6,000 in your circle, and 2 first generation elites. So that's the big kicker, is you need to have 2 first generation leaders, 2 greens or above in your downline. And they can't be in the same leg. They have to be in 2 different legs. So develop 2 different strong legs with your team. You're going to get paid more on your circle, 6%, and then you get your first generation, your second generation. Okay, black is the highest rank of the company. And we've had gals that took 10 months to hit black. We had somebody that joined in November and hit black in January, right? Crazy fast. She just promoted other greens. So that's the whole key. And then have $80,000 in company sales, $10,000 in your circle sales, and you need to promote 4 leaders. So this is my goal. My goal is to hit black by May. So I'm looking for my 4 leaders that want to take off and really build this business. And what's exciting is once you hit black, you're going to get paid on your 3rd generation. So you get paid first generation, second generation, 3rd generation royalties. Now those might not seem like very big percentages, right? 3%, 4%, 5%. But I put together a little thing here. So each of these greens are, a generation, okay? So I need like a little pointer here, like using my finger on my computer. That doesn't really help. Okay, so my first level, you see I've got a green, orange, green, yellow, purple, okay? So all of the greens and above, green, orange, green, and purple, are my first generation. So I'm making a percentage off of that first generation as a black, okay? Then I go down to the next line, I've got orange, orange, green, green. So now I've got, and actually this is pretty, not really to scale, because you'll actually have more people in your second generation than your first, because it's kind of like a tree, right? The roots, they just kind of spread out. So you might sponsor 5 people that end up becoming green. Well, those 5 are each going to sponsor, let's say, 5 people that eventually become green. So you'll have, just hypothetically, 5 greens on your first line, 25 greens on your second line, and this is over time, not tomorrow, over time. And then what if each of those people have 5 people that become green? So 25 times 5. So you can see that your 3rd generation is huge, huge, huge as you grow. And that is what makes you money. So you're going to make money off a little bit off your first generation. You're going to make a bigger chunk off your second generation. But you're going to make a lot of money off your 3rd generation if you are growing and cultivating a team. So it's a lot of money. I hope Nicole doesn't mind me sharing this. I didn't really ask her. Nicole Smith is our upline black. Actually, there's a couple of gals that are making pretty much the same, but we have several blacks that are making already within the first 15 months of the company $20,000 to $30,000, and the majority of that is made off of their 3rd generation. So, pretty exciting, right? That's a month, by the way. That's not a year. That's a month. That's basically my training over compensation. One thing you want to remember with our compensation plan is you always want to continue sponsoring and growing wide and then cultivating leaders. If you're doing those 2 things, you're going to promote and you're going to bring in some great money, and you're going to help your leaders promote and do the same for them. I'm going to open it up. If you guys want to hit star 6, you can ask me any questions that, about compensation or really anything that you're have been wondering or didn't quite understand. I can go over it again. Or was going to say, did I explain it that well? Okay, go ahead. Who's this? No, you actually going to earn off their whole circle. So, for example, so who is someone that you recently sponsored, Riley? Sydney. Okay, so we're going to pretend that you're black, and Sydney is your first generation. Okay, so you're going to get paid on her circle, which is going to be every single person in her downline up to the next green. So yeah, so she has like 80 people on her team, and then she's got 20 that are part of an elite leader. You'll get paid on the 60 people that are left in her circle. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Do you guys feel like you understand kind of what the circle and the company difference is? It doesn't really come into effect until you hit green. So I haven't really explained that too much to new presenters until they kind of get to that level. But hopefully that makes sense. Okay. You guys are quiet. Awesome. I'm glad you all understand. That's good. So, I would just encourage you to make a goal where you want to promote this month, in 3 months, and in 6 months. If that's a lot of businesses will do that. You'll have your 1 month plan, your 3 months, your 6 months, your 12 months. I've got my 6 month plan set up black. If you are just joined, figure out how much you want to work and how quickly you want to get there. It does take a lot of work. I'll be honest. It's flexible. I work from home. I do it in between my kids, coloring books and stuff like that. But I stay up late sometimes and get my work in then. I just get up early and do that. I don't watch TV anymore. I make really easy meals for my family. So anyways, I'm just really excited. This company has a lot of great things to offer. So I appreciate you all getting on with me today. Hope that was really helpful. And have an awesome month and go get it. So thank you.